All right, webheads, you better pay attention because there are a lot of comics coming out for the week of February 17th, 2021. Hey, yo, my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, always helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated comics for the week of February 17th, 2021. That's right, guys, it's never too early to start putting together that pull list for next week. And like I said earlier, hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And guys, if you want to ever consider becoming a member of Comic Book Corner 2.0 and help support the channel, just go on to my home screen. As yes, you just hit that join button and it supports the channel. Like I said, it takes it a long way. So thank you all for supporting the channel, taking the time to comment and all that great stuff. So guys, let's get started with this week's most anticipated comic books, and we're going to kick it off with the hot seat. Now, this is not a traditional hot seat because there were all some pretty good books on this list, and some of these series are ending. So that's why these books are on the hot seat this week. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is Future State Catwoman issue 2. This is the second part to this short little series here. This book is 32 pages. This is $4. I actually love this first issue where we get to see Catwoman, how she's going to try to rescue, which looked like it was Bruce Wayne in this high-speed train caper or whatever it is, you know, and we got to see someone who made an appearance at the end of the last issue, which I thought was really cool. Again, there was a lot of action here, and them trying to rescue Bruce Wayne was pretty awesome. So I love the artwork in this. This was one of the more fun Future State books, so I'm really looking forward to this one. All right. The next series that is obviously ending is Future State Nightwing. This is issue 2. This was another one. This one is called Once Upon a Night in Gotham Part 2. This one is also 32 pages and $4. Again, I'm pretty much sticking with these $4 titles because this just had the one and done stories, and I love this. I actually like that. I wish more of the Future State books were kind of like that instead of them, you know, having all these backup stories in there. So again, we had Nightwing in there. He's teaming up with the next Batman, which I think is kind of cool. And they're obviously trying to stop the Magistrate. I think the other two Batgirls are going to be in here. We're going to have the Huntress in here as well. So there's going to be a lot of characters in this second issue. I really enjoyed the first one. Can't wait to see this. All right, so the next one that's on the hot seat because it's ending is obviously Future State, the next Batman issue 4. This is the next Batman chapter 4. Then you're going to have Batgirls Part 2, Gotham City Sirens Part 2. Now, I was not a fan of all those backup stories. I just read the next Batman. Then the next Batman has been okay. However, I did feel that issue 3 did kind of fall off a little bit. I just found it kind of unbelievable how we have two civilians that can kind of stop this next Batman by hitting him in the side of the chest with a baseball bat, even though he was injured, and then almost strangling him. Like I felt like that was kind of just, it felt unbelievable to me, you know, and just not a lot going on in that last issue. So I wasn't a huge fan of that particular issue, but nevertheless, I'm still giving it a try. I'm going to finish the story all the way through, and I want to see, you know, where this story goes after this particular Future State is over. And I want to know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about Future State with some of these stories possibly going forward? Would you want to see that? Like, we've got announced already a Gotham Future State with Jason Todd introducing the first story arc. Would you want to see more of that stuff in any way, shape, or form? Or are you just done with Future State altogether? All right, so next we're going to go into the King in Black tie-ins, in case you guys care about that. So we have King in Black Savage Avengers. This is issue 18. This one is 28 pages. This one is $4. This one was kind of cool as we get to see Conan, how he had made a deal with Null in the past. And now he's got to kind of, you know, pay back his promise, and you wind up seeing him at the end of the last issue get nullified. So I thought that was actually kind of cool, and I'm looking forward to that. The next one here, we have King in Black, Planet of the Symbiotes. This is issue 2. That one was kind of cool, as you got to see all the, symbiotes from the past. Like, we got to see Scream in the last issue and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be, they're saying that it's going to be like this Kaijo type of issue. So I don't know what to expect out of this. If you're looking to just have some fun and have some extra money in the bank that you might want to spend on this, yeah, go ahead, check it out. The next one we have is the King in Black Miles Morales. This is issue 23. So we'll see if this ties into the current story. I'm not really reading Miles Morales right now. I'm waiting to jump on, I think, when that Clone Saga thing starts. So we'll see how what this has to offer for it. Obviously, there's going to be symbiotic dragons, and they're going to have to stop them. How does it affect Miles Morales? That's still yet to be determined. And then the next one we have is obviously the main book from King in Black. This is King in Black. This is issue 4. It's been so good, and I love the last issue of Venom. I thought that was part of the main story as well. Last issue with King in Black, we had the whole situation dealing with Thor, and we wound up getting to see Silver Surfer Black make his appearance, and hopefully he makes his way towards Earth to do battle against Null. That would be pretty awesome, right? So looking forward to that one. 36 pages. That one's $5. All right, so now we're officially getting down to the countdown. Soon, King in Black will be over. Soon, Future State will be over, and we won't have all these extra events to talk about, right? Well, maybe Heroes Reborn, but we'll see. All right, so the next one is a one-shot type of book. This one is The Immortal Hulk Flatline Issue 1. So, again, I feel like a lot of these Immortal Hulk stories are going to come out in one-shots when the main series is over. There was a lot of controversy surrounding Immortal Hulk just in general this week when it comes to Joe Bennett, but hopefully people forget about that, and we'll see what happens with it going forward. But there's this new gamma-powered villain that shows up in the small town in New Mexico. So Bruce is forced now to confront this villain and obviously his anger as well. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm really curious to see what will happen with Immortal Hulk going forward here. So this one is 36 pages. This one is $5. Coming in at number 9, we have Spider-Woman issue 9. So Jessica Drew is trying to find a cure for her disease that is killing her. I think the last issue she came across the High Evolutionary, and it looks like that maybe he is the answer to her disease, that he could cure her. So I'm curious to see how that goes. By the time we get to issue 11 with Spider-Woman, it's going to be a new story arc, and she's going to go back to her traditional costume. So if you guys are looking to jump on Spider-Woman, I would say jump on at issue 11. This book is 28 pages, and this one is $4. So coming in at number 8 is a issue 2 out of 5. This is Haha. This is issue 2. Now, the first issue was phenomenal. This is single stories about clowns losing their jobs or having sad stories and them kind of going senile, which is quite interesting. The first issue was so well done. The artwork was real creepy. This is the writer from Ice Cream Man. So if you love that first issue, you might want to check out that second issue. Again, this one is $4. All right, next, moving on to number 7, we have Iron Man. This is issue 6. This is the Books of Korvac, Book 2, Part 1. So we have Iron Man going against Korvac. The last issue was intense because Korvac just basically destroyed Tony Stark. Tony Stark, out of desperation, used all his power to try to stop Korvac. Made a few dents, few scratches in there, but he basically powered himself out, and Korvac just basically stepped on his neck and broke his neck at the end of the last issue because Iron Man just went senile because he pretty much blew up all his friends. Intense issue. I mean, and it was cool because you wind up getting to see Scarlet Spider, you wind up seeing Frogman, some like real C-lister type of heroes in there. I think this book is getting a lot better. People that dumped it after issue 1 or 2, I say give it another chance. I think this is a good read right now. So this one is 28 pages. It's $4. And if you care about legacy numbering, this is issue 631. All right, so moving forward to number 6, we have Black Widow. This is issue 5, The Ties That Bind, part 5. And this is titled The End That Is Also the Beginning. So we wind up seeing Natasha she's going to pick up the pieces here after she just lost her fake family. You know, all her memories came back to her on who she was and you know, all this fake family that she had, but she truly loved them, and they wind up getting blown up. And if you haven't followed this series, I definitely say go ahead and read it, because she lost all her memories. She was living this different life, and all these villains were following her. It was kind of like this Big Brother situation. Such a good book. The artwork is top notch in this one. I definitely say pick this one up for sure. This one is 28 pages, and this one is $4. All right, so moving on to number 5, we have Family Tree issue 11. We're coming towards the end of this. I want to say this ends at issue 12 or 13, but Jeff Lemire writes the Family Tree. It's about a girl who wound up getting a tree disease, right? And she gets planted, and then she starts this whole tree pandemic, and everyone around them becomes trees, and people are scattering, trying to survive, and they want her and all kinds of stuff. And just the story from beginning to end is so interesting. It's something so different. I never thought I would see an apocalyptic situation dealing with trees, but it's so unique and so different. It's such a page turner that you have to read it. And the only downfall I would say about this particular series is that it's just too quick of a read, man. If you got this in trade, you would probably read this trade in maybe a half hour. That's how quick it is, but it's still a very great, you know, an interesting story. So again, this one's 32 pages, and this one is $4. Moving on to number 4. This one goes to X-Men Legends. This is issue 1. Now, I'm really looking forward to this one. These are all new tales starring your favorite X-Men spinning out of the classic era. So these supposedly are stories that took place during certain issues, okay? So between issues or something like that. So somehow they're going to fit all that stuff in there. I think this could be a lot of fun. And for fans of classic X-Men, right, from the 90s or maybe even before, like the 80s, I think you're going to love this. And we're going to see Brett Booth on the artwork in this first issue, at least, I think. And if you love the most recent issue of X-Men with his artwork on there, you're going to love the artwork on here. And it's going to bring you back to a time that you really love this X-Men. And especially if you're not a fan of Hickman's X-Men. So I think that's why they're coming out with this, because there's going to be an X-Men. Marvel is guaranteed to give you an X-Men that you're going to love, whether a Hickman's X-Men or classic X-Men. So we'll see how this one turns out. This first issue is 36 pages, and this one is $5. All right, so moving on to the top 3. Coming in at number 3, this is an independent. This one is Stillwater issue 6. This is the last issue of the story arc where we get to see the town of Stillwater kind of pick up the pieces based off of what happened in the last issue. You know, if you're not familiar with Stillwater, it's a town that where you live in it, no one ages, no one dies, you get hurt, you heal real quickly, and even if you're a little kid, you don't age up. So in the last issue, again, this is a little bit of spoilers, we wind up seeing the town try to go against their judge on saying, hey, we need to let people know that Stillwaters exist. We need people to leave. We need them to explore the outside world. And it was voted against, and bad things happened at the end of the last issue. This is such a great book. Chip Zdarsky writes this book. I don't think you would be disappointed if you read this. You're going to see a trade after issue 6 come out, and for $10, which will probably cost, I say definitely pick up that first trade. All right, so coming in at number 2 is Thor issue 12. what can I say about Thor? The whole story with him and Donald Blake has been absolutely phenomenal. This is called Prey Part 4, and it's been so awesome to see Donald Blake kind of take over things, and he goes on this dinner date with Jane Foster in the last issue, and they once were dating, and he gets all kinds of information that he didn't know, and what he did to Jane Foster or didn't do to Jane Foster was quite interesting at that issue. And then what had happened to all of Thor's friends and whatnot, it was pretty awesome as well. I can't wait to see how this story turns out, man. So good. The artwork is absolutely top-notch as well. This book is 28 pages. This one's $4. If you're keeping track of that legacy numbering, this is issue 738. All right, so what comes in number 1 if it's not Thor? Well, it's the long-awaited Last Ronin, issue number 2. Let me just tell you, that first issue of Last Ronin was so good. It reminded me of classic Turtles, even though it was a new take, a new story. And it reminded me of a lot of Old Man Logan, right? This is like Old Man Turtle going against, the Shredder's, is it grandson? I think it was, right? And it was like this big, epic arcade game where he went through the levels and had to destroy all the bosses, and then he gets to the big bad boss at the end, but it didn't go too well at the end, and he wound up getting injured, this particular turtle. And obviously we should know this by now, that particular turtle is Michelangelo. He gets all dinged up, and the person that nurses him back to health is April O'Neil. I thought that was awesome too, to see her as an older version, and now he's going to have to pick up the pieces and go at it again. And the artwork was awesome, the story was awesome, just the action was so good. And it's been so long already since we had that first issue, and now this second issue is finally coming out. So make sure, if you can, let your comic book shop know, hey, I want this book, so you don't miss out on it like that first issue. All right, so there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated, plus some. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I want to know what you're looking forward to the most that particular week of February 17th, 2021. And guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell. If you like this content, anything about it, please go ahead, check out more content right here. And guys, I'll see you next time. This is the Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, guys. Bye.